What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 58 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
We've got some fun announcements today. Players' Cup 4 qualifier happened over the weekend.
Clearly, I qualified.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk about what we're playing after the fact. We have no idea how well we've done yet. It just started like an hour ago.
Yeah, you know, I'm already like 15-0 on day one.
So we're going to talk about what we got going on there team-wise. I'm not playing Yveltal anymore. As much as I wanted to, I'm just not. Ask
me how surprised I am that you slopped in the last, 24 hours.
I'm not. Nobody kept me honest. So I was like, okay, fine, whatever. Y'all just let me just swap.
Well, at the same time, you and I had talked about it. It's just this team feels fine, but it feels more of a best of 3 open team sheet kind of team.
Yeah.
It's in a best of 1 unpredictable format where you don't know anything.
Had a very hard time.
It's just guess I'll die.
Yeah. It's I just lose to the gimmicks. It's okay.
Yep, so, cutting out the gimmicks, or, moving away from them and playing something a little more
solid, mainstream,
traditional.
This is probably my favorite team here. So my team is Sun. Just defensive Sun is what I've been calling it, because that's kind of how it plays. It's very bulky. And
yeah, I think bulky Sun is a very apt descriptor. It's here's all these things, and by the way, you can't one-shot anything, especially because we have screens, and then we also bulk up from our Dynamax, and it's okay, I didn't want to do anything anyway.
So the cool part here is we also have Intimidate and Eerie Impulse on between Porygon 2 and Incineroar, kind of just helping stall out games even longer. The one downside is we're 3 damage and 3 support, but all of our supports have damaging moves, so it's kind of just weird synergy.
Incin is a weird support mon that also can just pick up KOs. And especially this variation where you're max speed?
Yeah, so this is cool. When they built the team, when I say they, this was the Battle Room on YouTube, Colin, then Adi, I can't remember his channel. I think it's some weird combination of letters and numbers. I'll find them both and I'll link them down below. But they've been talking about it, and one of the teams they were trying to beat, the Incineroar, was at 156 EVs for speed, which is insanely fast.
Yeah, that's a very fast Incin.
So they joked, it's just let's just be max speed. And it turns out max speed Incineroar, after you get to Scary Face at Calyrex Shadow, outspeeds Calyrex Shadow, and you bop him with that Darkest Lariat.
As the man playing Calyrex Shadow this weekend,
don't.
Please stop.
You're using your sash?
I am.
You don't care. You don't care.
I'm sash with Mudshot, so it's just all right, cool. Well, now you're slower than me,
and now I get to get you. Yeah, exactly. But it's a really cool set. I like the Incineroar set. It's fun. It's nice knowing that my fake outs almost always go first. Mm-hmm. My parting shot almost always goes first.
Very, very few times you're going to get outsped, especially against opposing Incins.
Yeah.
You have to be max speed plus nature, or just plus speed nature with EVs. And it's why?
Exactly.
You give up so much bulk at that point to outspeed this Incin.
This Incineroar specifically has just enough HP investment, and the impish nature there gives us an edge on Zacian, so we don't completely get blown out by Sacred Swords. The Porygon 2 is a little iffy. This one says download still, and I'm on the fence whether download or trace, because if I swap to trace, I want foul play.
I've been a big fan of foul play trace.
The one problem is I really need Ice Beam. So Hydreigon is a problem.
I thought we had settled on Trace Ice Beam. And just
playing with it, I don't get anywhere near the damage output with Ice Beam without the downloads.
In defense of that, I've literally never gotten a special attack boost.
I got a bunch in the practice event. But anywho, so it's we're kind of on the fence between trace and download. The one thing I had a horror story I've heard about, someone ended up tracing Drizzle.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and it just ruined the team for him. And so it's just like, yeah, that's like the one thing you don't want to do.
My thing is there is so much prankster running around. In this
Oh,
format.
there's so much upside if you manage to hit the prankster.
If you prankster, like if you trace prankster against Tornogre, like all right, nice Kyogre, go away. You're not doing anything this game.
Yeah.
And then they switch in Thundurus on you. You're like, oh well, now we're dead.
Thundurus is another Pokemon that this team has a problem with, but Charizard and Groudon kind of deal with it pretty well. Both having rock coverage just to be able to beat up Thundy. The Charizard also survives a lot of hits from just other Charizards and super effective hits in general.
I am very confused by AV Charizard.
So the idea here is...
I take it you want to be able to live hits from Eliki, and this is like the only way you can do so.
Yeah, it also helps us guarantee that we survive against other Charizards.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because other solar-powered Charizards might be running Life Orb and Ancient Power with Protect instead of Scorching Sands, and then we just get punished by... Get punished
especially,
by us.
like, if you are in a situation where you max first, get an Airstream off, and then they max... Like, you're guaranteed faster at that point, and then you can Quake to get the special defense boost, so now you're +1 with Assault Vest, and it's like, alright, well, you're not doing any damage even if you do have Ancient Power, so...
Exactly.
I feel like this game is over already because I'm faster than you, and now I can just one-shot you with Ancient Power too.
The Charizard's also spec'd to be able to Oko Groudon with a Sun-boosted Max Wildfire.
Cool. I'm assuming that's like the most common Groudon sets. Like,
yeah. I believe it's based off against their Groudon set specifically.
Cool.
So the Groudon set is really cool. It's a very bulky set with Sword Stance and Protect, Precipice Blades, and Rock Slide.
I don't know if I like Protect and Sword Dance. I feel like I've seen a lot of like Fire Punch instead of Protect in this set because like you also want to be able to Dynamax your Groudon, and like in this set particularly, you only get Max Rockfall and Max Quake.
So the fun thing here is this team is super reliant on having Wildfire and Vine Lash as chip.
Yeah.
So those are your maxes a lot of the time.
Having that incidental chip is real powerful. I mean, that's something that I messed around with in Series 7, 6.
Whatever it was.
The Kanto squad with triple starters.
The PC4 qualifier team.
Is that what yeah, there we go. Yeah, so Series 6, 7. It's like, yeah, that the team wanted to max one of the starters and get chip damage almost immediately every game.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what you want to do is just start hammering away at them. So then in the end game, your HP is going to be higher. You can take more hits than they can.
Yeah. The Groudon here is definitely not like your main Dynamax. You can Dynamax it. The option is there. But if you...
I honestly feel like you don't. And like as a result, having Protect is probably fine here. But because you can just like Sword Stance and then you just want to spam your spread move.
Yeah.
Like just
all
deal damage.
Fun leads are like Groudon plus Venusaur. If you know like Goggles isn't a problem, like they have to play around one or the other, and if they pick wrong, then like Sword Dance goes up on Groudon, and then Groudon just starts to sweep, or they focus the Groudon, you just got the Sleep Pad or something, and then Venusaur just takes off.
Playing against Sun specifically with what I'm doing is like, all right, Trick Room. If they lead it on Groudon, it's just like, all right, well, I'm getting my free Sword Dance because you're setting up Trick Room. It's like, well, that's really problematic.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, next turn, double expanding force. Hope that's good enough. It's usually not.
Yeah.
So then I yawn them instead.
I played against Calyrex Ice and Mimikyu twice yesterday, and I'm still trying to figure that matchup out, which I'm going to have to get practice with that probably before we start playing. Like, I was
going to say, you're very quickly running out of time, my dude.
My games won't start until Friday afternoon, so... I got work in the morning, so I won't have time to play until probably later Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Which, are you playing first thing in the morning tomorrow?
I'm recording in the morning, and then I don't think we have anything else going on tomorrow, so probably.
You gonna stream it?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
I've streamed the last two.
I'm probably not streaming mine just because it's gonna be sporadic, and I didn't want to, I don't know what my schedule's gonna be like. I didn't want to be on for 1 or 2 games and have to turn it off. Like, that kind of defeats the purpose.
The last 2 that I've played, I have streamed 15 games on Friday morning. So that's probably what I'll do. And then if I get to play more on Saturday or Sunday, cool. If not, okay, well, I got to play.
Yeah.
And, that's the downside to my schedule is, like, I don't get to play all 45 games or even as many as I need to qualify. It's like, well, if I have a bad day one, that's it.
Yeah. Did I even play PC3? I don't even think I played PC3. I sat that one out.
Flaked at the last second, basically.
Yeah.
You're like, well, I don't like anything that I have been working on, so instead, no.
Yeah.
No, you had a team ready, but then you got called into work or something. You're like, we're good.
Yeah, that was the work-related incident where I can't find time to play anymore. I still don't find time to play anymore. I haven't played ladder since I stopped playing Littleroot Ladderings, recording those. And so yesterday was the first time I played competitive Pokemon in a while. That's not on Showdown. Anywho, the rest of the team's great. It's got a lot of synergy with it. Grimmsnarl supports the team very, very well. It's probably one of the best Pokemon in the game, down next to Incineroar, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely give this team a spin. I might have made a rental code for my team specifically by then, but it's literally, you can find multiple versions of this rental code out flying around the internet somewhere. They took it. This was a top 5, top 6 finish in the Players Cup 3, double them, which is a real good showing for it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, aside of that, I can't think of anything else I really want to talk about for this team. The bulk of the meat and potatoes of today's episode is probably going to be on yours.
Oh, you're putting a lot of pressure on me here, bud.
So, you set out to hit Master Ball of Slowking.
I haven't yet.
I was about to say.
The only matches I've played on ladder have been for laddering. So, I haven't played a ton, but I've played probably, like, 250 games with this on Showdown in the last, 2 weeks.
That's good. You got practice with it, at least.
Granted, that's over, the initial 4 has always stayed the same. Mm-hmm. Once, I've built off of that, it's like, alright, well, I need something to complement these 4 that's also not, a slow mode. So, the initial idea is, I want Slowking. The initial idea was, no one plays Slowking, it has Regenerator, this seems cool, I want to do it.
Yeah.
And at which point you're like, please stop being stupid.
Yes.
And that I took that as a challenge. So now we're here.
Yeah.
So what that led to was, okay, obviously we want Expanding Force because that's our best attack if we're doing Trick Room things. The initial idea was Trick Room, Yawn, Expanding Force, question mark. Mm-hmm. So from there, because we're playing Expanding Force, we want Indeedee, which is also good for being able to set up terrain so we don't get Fake Out. We get Follow Me. We also set terrain for Expanding Force. Well, Indeedee partners well with Cali Shadow, so that those 3 were basically locked in from the start. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, I am playing 3 Psychic types in a format dominated by Incineroar.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
I'm sitting here looking at your first 4, I'm just like, Yveltal, Incineroar, Grimmsnarl, what do you do?
So that's the thing. Mudsdale.
Yeah, that's where we're at now.
So then I'm like, well, I could be, I basically just went back to, Series 2, and I'm like, alright.
Swagger.
This is a Mudsdale team. This is what we're doing now. And I'm like, well... Intimidate's really popular. Mm-hmm. Own Tempo ignores Intimidate. Mm-hmm. It also means we can't be confused. Mm-hmm. Slowking is slower than Mudsdale. We can swagger our Mudsdale, max it, blow things up.
There you go.
So, that was the initial idea. And people don't realize that Own Tempo ignores...
Intimidate.
So they're like...
It's a mini buff. It's kind of like the same as Inner Focus. They got these mini buffs where they just ignore Intimidate.
So, as a result, people constantly bring Ensign against this team. And it's like...
It's not doing anything.
Alright, cool. Now I'm +4. Quake you. Now I'm +1 to my special defense.
Bang!
Thank you for the free switch in. Oh, there's a Zacian next to you. Bang! So, when you get to do your thing, you snowball extremely quickly.
Well, that's what Series 2 was just snowballs.
And so... The big problem with that lead of Indeedee Slowking is Kyogre's a problem because Follow Me doesn't work against spread moves.
Yeah, you can't redirect the water spout.
Groudon's a problem for the same reason. Mm-hmm. And like we talked about earlier, they can also just Swords Dance me.
Yeah.
And it's well, I have to at that point it's all right, we're going to Expanding Force, and we're going to yawn it and just hope we dodge a Precipice Blades, which my luck with Slowking has been immense. It doesn't matter. It's just like, all right, cool.
It's the immovable object meets the Juggernaut. It's like what budges first? Is it the Slowking that can dodge everything, or the ground nut hits everything? So
then, like, one of the other problems I ran into a lot was, like, Rage Powder is a big thing because then I can't swagger my Mudsdale. Mm-hmm. Amoonguss is the same speed tier as Slowking.
Oh, that sucks.
So, like, they could just spore my Slowking on, like, Trick Room. Like, if they KO Indeedee, like, Zacian Amoonguss was a lead that I saw a bit. And it's just like, all right, well, Behemoth Blade, that guaranteed KO against Indeedee, which I honestly want, because then I get a free switch into Mudsdale.
Yeah, Mudsdale gets to come in and just starts to get cleaned up.
The problem is then they spored my Slowking and Trick Room doesn't go up. Mm-hmm. So, like, the natural conclusion I came to is Amoonguss is a problem, so I just want safety goggles.
Yeah.
Because I tried a bunch of things. I tried, like, Mental Herb, and then I'm like, I don't care about any of the taunters in the format because I have Indeedee next to me. And, like, I had a ton of people who, like, here's my Whimsicott, or here's my Thunderous. I'm going to taunt you. Oh, wait, this doesn't work. You're in terrain.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, this is great. This is perfect. This is everything I want.
In comes the Defiant Thunderous with taunt.
Like, all right, cool. Indeedee's taunted. Next turn, Expanding Force you. Like, cool. And so, like, then, like, from there, it's just like, Calyrex is really powerful, and we need to be able to do a bunch of damage while also being able to live hits. And so the conclusion was, because I don't want Focus Sash on Indeedee, because I want it to go down on turn 1 if possible, I want Focus Sash on Calyrex, because then people have to double into it to pick up a KO.
Yeah.
Like, you're already super frail as is. If I can just live one turn and let that snowball by itself on turn 1, if that's my lead, then it can just decimate teams.
Oh, yeah.
So we're not max speed, and that's on purpose.
Yeah.
I want to be exactly 1 point slower than opposing Calyrexes. So this puts me at 221, which is a super critical number. It's 1 point slower than Calyrex Shadow.
Because it's 1 point faster than
max 1 point faster than max speed Zacian.
Yeah.
Which is super critical, because if they don't have light screen up, I can one-shot opposing Zacians with it.
Yeah.
Because Astral Barrage is actually ridiculous.
Until you run into the dark types, yeah.
Yeah, which, I mean, that's why we have Mudshot, because, like, I tried
you need
a bunch of things.
You need to be able to hit something still.
I tried a bunch of things in that slot. Originally, it was, like, Draining Kiss. I found that the damage output from it was super lackluster. Then we tried Energy Ball. That was okay. Let me hit, like, Kyogre and Groudon super effectively. But, like, most of the time, I wasn't ever maxing Calyrex, so, like, it didn't really matter. But having access to Mudshot means we have access to Quake if we want it. Mm-hmm. Which is fine. I like Quake, especially since we can bulk up in front of things like Eliki and other things like that. But outside of Max, it's another form of speed control.
Yeah.
Even though it's not 100% accurate. And that hasn't come up
yet.
Knock
on wood.
Hopefully. But I don't know. So
I was going to ask, like, does it have to be a damaging move? Would Will-O-Wisp be finding that slot, or
the problem with, like, exactly Will-O-Wisp is it doesn't help me against Incineroar, and, like, I felt like I needed something in that slot for Incineroar.
Man, Yveltal eats this team alive.
you say that, but honestly, if I get Trick Room up, Mudsdale comes in and does its thing. Like, ignoring Swagger, like, if I don't get a Swagger off, if I miss it, I can one-shot Thunderouses. Like, if they Dynamax Thunderous in front of me, I'm just like, oh, give it to me.
Yeah, Thunderous is not the Pokemon you want to Dynamax in front of a Mudsdale, like, ever.
Like, if they Dynamax on turn 1, I'm like, oh, you're dead. Like, cool. Thanks for Max Lightninging. I don't care.
Get him.
Here's my Mudsdale, blow you up. Yeah, it's great. So then, the final 2 slots, as you've noticed, we have a glaring weakness to dark types.
Yeah.
That's where Togekiss comes in. Originally, this was like Crit Kiss, like super damaging, super offensive. And then I realized, I'm like, if I just go like defensive, like, Series 1, Series 2 Togekiss, where, like, we just want to bulk up in front of people and take hits, that means we can lead it with, like, Calyrex and let Calyrex live another turn. Mm-hmm. We can pair it with Cinderace, so we, like, again, Cinderace can live more turns in its Dynamax, and you can snowball that way. The biggest problem is Zacian's a big mon in this format. Granted, Cinderace eats it alive, Mudsdale eats it alive, Calyrex can hit it for a ton of damage. So it's like, cool, this is basically settled. And because I have Babiri, I'm at a point where I can live one Behemoth Blade and then do it again the following turn. So, Togekiss is there mainly to be able to take hits from Dark types if needed, while also applying pressure against things like Grimmsnarl, which this team kind of doesn't really have a problem with. Because we have the boost on Calyrex, because we have Helping Hand on Indeedee, because we have the Swagger tech, like, we punch through screens. We don't care. Mm-hmm. That's another thing that's, like, super popular right now is, like, Lapras. It's like, on paper, how does this team beat a Lapras?
I was going to say, I was starting to think, it's like, how do you beat a Palkia? Like, Palkia seems scary.
Palkia's not awful. It's honestly one of those that I wish I still had Draining Kiss for, but end of the day, I need to stall out their Dynamax, or, like, swaggering or yawning opposing Pokemon is sometimes just the correct answer. I've had multiple games where, against specifically, like, Palkia and Dialga, I just swagger them when they go to max, and it's like, oh, well, there's a wasted turn. Oh, you... Huh. Great.
Oh, I hit myself. Oh, no.
And then, like, from there, it's like, alright, well, now Indeedee comes in. Mudsdale can, once by max, can take any hit in the format. Mm-hmm. The only thing that can guaranteed Oko Dynamax Mudsdale is Dynamax Kyogre and Rain. Like...
I'm not surprised by that.
Same, but that's also saying I'm not in Trick Room and don't get a Quake off first.
Yeah.
Because if I do, then it's like, alright, cool, I take one, but I'm not in a good position to be able to take a second one, but that gives me a reason to be able to take them out the following turn.
Yeah, it's the same situation as like with P2 on my team. It's like, I live one, and then I get to Area Impulse you, and the next one doesn't KO anything.
It's like, that's one of the play patterns I'm not 100% sure how I want to fully play it, even though I've, put in close to 300 games with this team. It's like, against Kyogre, how do I really handle that? Because I can Rockfall, which then takes away their weather, or I can Quake, which gives me a constant boost. So, like, I think Quake is probably correct 99% of the time, because that means that whatever my partner is also gets a boost and can be able to take more hits, which can help.
I think Quake is right just because it's stab and it's more damage, whereas, yes, you remove the rain with Rockfall, but...
Is that really important?
Like
is removing potentially 50% of their damage worth taking more damage over 2 turns, is what I feel like.
Doing the math there would be what would be important. It's like seeing how much Quake does, and then figuring out how much the Water Spout after that does, and then doing the same calculations for Rockfall, and seeing how much it does there.
Yeah.
Because there's no... You're pure ground type, so you don't get the special defense boost from sand for rock types and things like that.
Which is another thing. Is like, sure, Rockfall takes away from their weather boost, but it doesn't give me one. And so as a result, like, the thing is if I do that on turn 1, I have to again do it on turn 2 because they reset their own weather with Geyser.
Yeah.
So, like, then I'm just playing this awkward game where I'm not really progressing anything, whereas I'm taking a ton of damage in return. Like, I feel like that's a losing battle, whereas if I Quake down Kyogre, then, like being able to 2-shot the Kyogre is the correct call, I think, compared to, like, if I can do 50% on turn 1, they most likely max guard on turn 2, meaning I can take their partner out and get a free Quake that way. Mm. And then on turn 3, pick up the KO.
Partner's not Tornadus.
Yeah. Which, even if it is, then I just Rockfall.
Yeah, then you Rockfall and it's fine.
It's like, cool, now I don't care about you.
Yep.
And then, we have Cinderace.
Yeah. Cinderace does Cinderace things.
Hey, who knew that a super hyper offensive threat backed up by double follow me potentially is really good.
That's what like the other 4 of this mode is. It's just like here's really high damage threat in one facet or another, and then here's redirectors that complement it really well.
Yep, and I mean it's been good. Like, normally I will lead on Cinderace as opposed to Calyrex because I think Calyrex is one of the best late game sweepers in this format, where it comes in against whatever's been taking chip damage against your Dynamax. You get a free KO, then you go to +1, and then like Helping Hand plus, your +1 is just like, cool, you're not living this hit.
Yeah.
So then it just snowballs exceedingly well there.
I was going to ask if you needed the double follow me and wanted to run like Yawn on your Togekiss and something like that.
There have been very few instances where I've led like Togekiss plus Slowking. That mainly comes up against like Groudon.
I was going to say,
where they can't just Quake to pick up a double KO.
I feel like Groudon would just click Precipice Blades there still, though.
Yeah. That's
or
what
like
saying.
you said, Swords Dance, like just set up Swords Dance and then just click Precipice Blades.
Yeah, Groudon, I think, is like the biggest problem because it just does so much damage because it can hit Slowking super effectively.
I wonder if a G-Max Fireball can take up that Groudon.
It can.
Okay.
Helping Hand Fireball guarantees the KO.
I was thinking Sun boosted Fireball.
Either or.
Okay. Because Sun's going to be up from Groudon
yeah.
anyway, so it's like, at that point, you don't have to worry about the Helping Hand. You can just maybe...
The downside is Venusaur is faster than me.
Yeah.
So, like, if they lead exactly Venusaur plus Groudon, I have to click Follow Me. And then I think it's a roll to pick up a KO on Groudon. So at that point, it might just be correct to Follow Me plus pick up a KO on Venusaur, and then Helping Hand plus Pyro Ball. Because Pyro Ball by itself, I think is like Helping Hand Pyro Ball. I think is almost enough. I would need to check the calcs again. That's something that Aaron and I were working on late last week, early this week. I don't remember, but that was one of the things. I'm just like I sent a replay. I'm like, I feel like I could have won this game, but I don't know what turn cost me. Mm-hmm. And so him and I did like a deep dive on exactly one game. It's like, all right, had you clicked literally this move this game, you win.
Yeah. Finding that one spot where the game turned the corner is super important. I was doing that today in the YouTube video that went up today.
Mm-hmm.
Went up today. And so I went back and I watched the matches I played. It's like, oh, this is the point where I made the correct call and turned the corner and started winning. But yeah, teams are great. I didn't expect to be playing Sun, but here we are playing Sun. I knew you were going to try to figure out something, and we'll hopefully...
This is probably what I'm playing for laddering next week.
This one?
If I'm not... It might be that I just like edit down my day one run into 2 videos, and then you edit yours down if you record it.
I'm probably not going to record mine, but...
So yeah, what I'll probably do is like record one day with this, and then edit down to 2 days with the other one. Mm-hmm. Which honestly is probably more work than just recording 3 episodes.
The video from yesterday, I literally went and found the matches I wanted, and I just cut them out and slapped them together.
But see, you also had 8 matches as opposed to 15.
But I also had like 3 hours on the back end of other nonsense.
Oh, true. I forgot you decided you were going to play Pac-Man, and then it never loaded.
And then it never loaded. I'm sad. Pac-Man 99 is great, though.
Dude, it is fantastic.
I have a problem. If
you're following me on Twitter, you see my thread of wins. Hopefully by the time this goes up, it's more than 2.
Okay, you ready to get into our big announcement for today?
I don't know what you're talking about. This is all news to me.
All news to you, huh?
Yep, definitely wasn't something that I had been working on for like 6 months at this point.
Yeah, something we hadn't been working on for a while now. So when we did the 1 year survey thing, people were like wanted to do something bigger, tournament wise, things like that. And we had been part of bigger tournaments, Pokepod Cup and things like that, but we wanted something a little bit more for the community on our own, not like so reliant on other people, just for stuff like that. So we came up with the Littleroot Cup. Essentially, what this is it's like
it's our circuit tour.
It's our circuit tour. Yeah, it's the best way to like define it. It's like 16. The big event is 16-player double elimination bracket. Payout for prizes is top 4. We get 12 players from our qualifier side, which we'll cover in a little bit, and then top 4 point leaders that aren't already qualified also get added into the mix. It's going to be a 2-day event and hopefully be a lot of fun. As for the rest of this stuff, this is where the meat and potatoes for this stuff is because it's just like, gotta explain how the qualifiers work, gotta explain how the rumbles work, which, if you were playing rumbles before, their rumbles aren't really changing.
Nope. Just the, like, back-end work on our end is changing, to be 100% honest. So, the initial idea, I believe I came up with, like, 3 or 4 different drafts of, like, what I wanted this circuit to be. And from there, we basically took like 2 or 3 of them, mashed them together, and came up to this this idea. So the Littleroot qualifiers are going to be bi-monthly tournaments, $5 entry. Half of that entry goes to
first and second place.
First and second place of the qualifier.
Yeah.
And then the other half is going into the Littleroot Cup payout.
Yeah.
So Carl and I, just to be completely upfront, we're not keeping any of this money coming in.
No, this is just to help supplement payouts for people that win so they actually have something to play for.
Yep.
We actually might add even in some of our own money just to make sure it like pads out to an even number and things like that.
Which most likely will happen.
Yeah.
Just so like payout to 4th place is a nice even number and not like and 10 cents,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
X dollars and 10 cents or whatever, rounded up to an even dollar amount all around.
Yeah.
So, basically, if you win a qualifier, you're guaranteed a spot in the Littleroot Cup.
Yep.
In the event you aren't able to qualify, then we move that slot to the next top player that's not qualified based on points. Your points are going to be earned in not only the qualifiers to everyone except first place. I believe we're doing it to second place through whatever cut we do earns points in the qualifiers. No,
it's everyone gets points.
Yep.
It's just second place gets more points than third place gets more points than fourth place probably, and so on and so forth down the line. And like the last like couple spots, you still get a couple
basically
points.
You get guaranteed points for playing.
Yeah.
Whereas in the Rumbles, you are also going to be able to earn your points, but instead of having an entry fee, we are keeping it where it's been in the last year, where Rumbles are completely free. They're meant to be able to come in and play something if you want to be able to. If you've wanted to play this team for a while and you've got it built finally, you can come in and say, all right, cool, this is my team for this week. This is what I'm going to do. Typically, they're going to be 2 to 3 a month, depending on the way that it's structured.
The way the month falls around. Some of them there's like 5 Saturdays in some month, and we wanted something on that Saturday still, like we have in May, and I believe
May, and I think that's actually the only one.
There's 3 in June too.
Yeah, there we go. 3 in May, 3 in June, and the way it works out is, typically speaking, is the Wednesday after a qualifier is another Rumble.
Yeah.
So your points are going to be earned in both of these tournaments, but your prizes from the Rumbles are going to be the shiny Pokemon, just like we've done for the last year. Your points earned from the Rumbles are going to be less than the qualifiers, though, because it is still a free way to qualify, but it incentivizes everyone to play more of them.
Yeah. Like if you earned, say, if second place got, say, 20 points in the qualifier for finishing second place there, second place in the Rumble's not going to get 20 points. Second place in the Rumble's probably going to get closer to 7 or 8 probably.
Yep. Points are going to be based on attendance for these. So it's not. So the larger ones are going to be worth more points. That is also to incentivize people to play more of them and to grow these tournaments to where they are larger structures and larger tournaments. Everything is going to be on cart. So if you want to play that's what it's going to be on. Get your teams built in advance. Don't be rushing around the morning of saying, hey, what am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Guess we'll figure it out.
That's why we have all these dates listed ahead of time, so you guys can plan around these. Our first one is going to be the very first day of Series 9, May 1st. That's the very first qualifier. We wanted to wait until PC4 qualifiers had completed before announcing this because I know people have been wanting to start with Series 9, but we didn't want people to take away from...
Basically we didn't want to take away from the qualifiers. So as a result, we waited until they were over to announce this. So now you have 2 weeks to start working on Series 9 stuff.
Which is Series 7 stuff. Not a lot's going to change, but some stuff probably is going to be different.
Yep. Angelo and I were talking about that today. It's just like, yeah, I have a feeling we're going to start with the end of Series 7, like that format where it evolved to. But come June or whenever it's in, it's going to look completely different.
I'm expecting like 30% from Series 8 to carry over, and then like the other 70% to be old Series 7 stuff.
Yep.
And then eventually it all kind of just like forms and combines into being its own new format.
So we are in the process of getting the website up and running. This is going to all be on the website as well when it gets up and running.
Yep.
We are going to have a leaderboard for your point total so you know where you're at and how much you need to work towards getting qualified. If there are questions, comments, concerns about this, do not be afraid to reach out to Carl or myself. We are manning this. We are basically, this is our thing. The mods are going to be able to answer questions, but Carl and I have final say over everything.
Yeah. They're going to be busy doing multi-draft stuff, and we didn't want to burden them with more than what they already can handle probably. I know Evan, Tim, and Julia are working hard with the multi-battle league. It's taking off this weekend.
Swede's busy playing Monster Hunter.
And Final Fantasy. Is it 13 is the online
14.
14 is the online one.
So, you know.
And I watched him blind walk all the way to Reggie Rock today.
From where?
I believe it was the start of the Crown Tundra, and he just wandered his way through a blindfold all the way to Reggie Rock.
Fantastic.
Took him the better part of an hour. I didn't even say a word. I had turned him on and just was like in the background listening to him, and he was just wandering around.
I take it he didn't get his shiny.
No.
Oh, lame.
It told you it doesn't exist. So yeah. Be prepared. May 1st, very first event. We're going to probably be the first event of Series 9.
Yeah, I will.
We'll get specific times out when it gets a little bit closer.
We'll of course be posting this on r/VGC so we can promote there. Going to be promoting across basically all the Pokemon Discords we can. Basically anything anyone can do to help this tournament series grow. And as a result, help Carl and our channel grow as well. That would be fantastic. So, questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out to us on Discord, Twitter, Twitch. I don't care. Just find us, ask us. I want to be able to have as much information about this out as possible up front.
Yeah. When we get closer to the first one, we'll announce, like for Rumbles, for like when we said points based on attendance, we'll announce at the start of the Rumble what the point payouts will be like for first, second, third, blah, 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 all the way down to last place. The Littleroot qualifiers are a little bit more locked in because they're just, you're paying for these points, you're paying for an event, so those are a little bit more locked in, a little bit harder, stricter structure. And like we mentioned, they're all on cart. The event will be whatever the format is legal at the time. If Series 10 comes out and it's something completely different in August, whatever it is, we'll switch to that, and that's what it'll be. Did we explain what happens if you win twice?
No, but basically, the number of points, the 12 players who are qualified through the Rumbles, if there is
the qualifiers.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the qualifiers. For those who, in the event someone does win 2,
or more,
it's going to add to total point leaders.
Yeah, so if we have 11 different winners, then we'll take the top 5 point earners that aren't already qualified, and so on and so forth.
It is the top X players not already qualified to where X plus the number of qualified players from the qualifiers equals 16.
Yeah, so we want 16 is the magic number because 16 is a good, nice 2-day elimination bracket. Yep. If I remember correctly, it'd be getting them down to top 8 for the first day and then probably finish it out the second day, which that would be the Saturday, Sunday event. So if you do qualify, ask off for it in advance. I know we don't give you a ton of time. We give you, October 20th is the last Rumble, and that'll be the cutoff point for dates because that's the last event.
Yep. As of October 21st, everyone will know they're qualified.
Yep. So that'd give you...
Or just hear me out and just win the first one.
Yeah, just win the first one.
Just win the first qualifier. To worry about. And then you don't have to touch your game until November.
Exactly.
So, I'm super, super excited about this. This is something that, we've been working on for 3 or 4 months.
It's been months at this point. Since
it is something that I approached Carl about before we ever sent the survey out. And then when people said, hey, this is something we want, it's like, well, how convenient. I have been working on that.
We're doing that right now. We had a couple people who kind of alluded that, hey, this is what they're doing, and I think everyone kind of forgot about it.
It's been a hot minute, so...
So this will hopefully be a good surprise for everyone. Thanks, Evan, for doing all these fun little graphics.
Yeah, all these graphics are great. Shout out to Evans for putting all the graphics together for the actual cups and qualifiers and all that. You, I know, did the actual graphic.
I did all
on screen.
Yeah, I did all the data points. It's whatever. I just typed in words. It's fine. It's nothing fancy.
I mean, I helped because I sat here and played Pac-Man.
Yeah, you sat there and played Pac-Man, told me dates off of a calendar. So
I looked up and went, "No, you need to move that over a little."
So there's 12 qualifiers, 14 rumbles, 3 in May, 3 in June. 2 August, 2 September, 2 October, There's 14 rumbles. So you could earn a spot in through just playing through rumbles.
You could.
Win enough rumbles in a row and you probably would be fine without having to play anymore, but it's always nice to just win random shinies.
True. So that's the big thing for this week.
Yeah, that was our thing we've been working on. I'm so happy to finally have it announced and whatnot.
I'm excited for this to get out to the public and see the reaction for it. So the big worry was paid entry and whatnot, but I wanted people to be able, the qualifiers to actually be meaningful. Agreed.
People to pay.
Agreed.
We need to get a separate PayPal made up.
That is on my agenda to do this week. I will have that done.
We'll probably run our Swiss rounds through Challenge
or Battlefy.
One of the two.
One of the two. I should mention that these are going to be, the Rumbles and the qualifiers are going to be Swiss rounds. Swiss plus potentially top cut, depending on turnout. Players. Just like we've run our Rumbles for the last year. If there's enough for a top cut. So basically anything over 8 players, we will have a top cut, depending on the size. If it's 8 to 16, it'll probably be top 4.
Yep.
Anything over 16, we'll do top 8. And in the event we ever hit one that's 64 players, we'll do top 16.
Yeah.
Past that, it's the same thing we've been doing, just basically restructured, and
there's meaning behind them now.
Yeah.
They're not just run-of-the-mill whenever anymore.
Yeah, I am super excited because I feel like this is going to be a big motivator for people to come play again.
Yeah.
I know there's been quite a few people who have been kind of in a rut and not really wanting to play, and I'm really hoping that this is a draw back to not only our roots of what we've done historically, but also gives people something to want to do.
Yeah. Gives them something to look forward to each month or so. I know a big drain on it has been just Series 8's just kind of been draining and dragging out on people. It's our first, was Series 7 3 months or was it 2 months? Series 7 was 3 months, right?
It was 3. This is also 2?
This is also 3.
It is? Okay.
And then Series 9 is also 3 after that.
Cool. Great.
So in August, we'll see whatever format it is, and then we'll have 6 events on the new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which that'll be fun. But yeah.
Which is actually interesting, because the weekend, if it is a 3-month for Series 9, that would put us through August, right? June, July, August.
It's May, June, July. Start of August is
so
Series
August,
10.
September, October. So meaning
November.
The cup would be Series
11. As long as Series 10 doesn't run till the end of whatever.
Or if they are going to do 3 months per thing this year, then that means
so this works out because then we'll have like
we actually hadn't planned that. I'm really glad it works out that way.
That's cool. Okay, so that's
where half the tournaments are Series 9, half of them
10.
are going to be 10, and then
we're gonna find out how well you all can adapt to the new
and learn and play
for Series 11, if there is one. That'd be cool.
I'm waiting for the text from Angelo saying, "What the hell? Why didn't you tell us about this?" Because I mean, you and I talked to him basically on the daily.
Yeah,
and like Aaron is also there, so Aaron knows.
Aaron knows about it too. So it's just like, and we've been just keeping him in the dark this entire time.
I'm so excited for Monday. Cannot wait for the response of this.
Yeah, I'm excited. People are going to be excited.
Yep. Going to... this is probably going to be our announcement on Monday on Reddit instead of being the normal, hey, podcast is up. It's going to be, hey, here's this. Also, you need to be in this to play in them. Yeah.
Make sure you... Like, we would like if you were in the Discord so we can keep track of your... So
you're gonna have to be.
Like, if you want to keep up with everything, it's good. Oh, you don't even have to participate in anything else in the Discord. Just lurk in there. That's fine.
We have plenty of lurkers. You are not going to offend me if you never say a word and you're just here for the tournaments.
That is fine. We just want to be able to contact you so we can get PayPal to the right people and things like that. Get shinies to the right people and whatnot. We don't want to have to track you down via Reddit or an email and not hear from you after months, and then you show up after we've figured out that, hey, maybe they're not around anymore, kind of situation.
Yep. If you sign up for an event and you are not there when the event starts, you're getting dropped.
Yep.
If you go MIA during the middle of the event, you're getting dropped. Like,
we will refund if you're a no-show. If you sign up and pay your entry ahead of time, which you're going to have to via PayPal.
Are not going to be allowed to play unless I have your money through PayPal.
Yeah, which that's whatever. We'll have a whole FAQ on the PayPal situation, how that's going to work probably on our Discord. But if you find out you can't play or you don't show up, we will refund the $5 back to you.
Yep.
We're not going to sit here and steal your money. If you didn't play, there's no point in putting your money towards the prize to begin with.
If we're not rude and ruthless and going to steal money.
Exactly.
Like, that's not what this is about. This is about giving people a place to play for a non-zero amount of money.
Yeah. However, if you do, like you said, go MIA in the middle of the tournament, don't answer, are unresponsive after.
If you delay the tournament, you're getting dropped.
Like, you're going to get dropped and there will be no refund of your money. You have started to play in the event, you knew what was coming, you've already paid your money, it's in the prize pool. Sorry. That's just going to be how it is.
Yep.
We still want this to be a serious event. That's just kind of how it is. It's going to be like an IRL event for Pokemon. For sure. If you aren't there at the start of the round, there's going to be game losses and drops. Yep.
So.
Rumbles are almost always going to be at night.
Yep. Rumbles are going to be afternoon/evening.
Qualifiers will likely start during the day because they might run a little bit longer. Rumbles probably won't run too terribly long. So they'll probably start 3 or 4 CST and then run until about 8 or 9.
That is something we still need to iron out because, for our European and Asian players, morning qualifiers are going to be super rough. Because morning for me and you is whatever.
Yeah.
But morning for them is who knows what time.
I usually aim for about 10 to 11, depending on when people are around for qualifiers like that, because especially since it's on a Saturday.
Correct.
A lot of them don't work. I feel like the U.S. is the big one where a lot of people work on the weekends on the U.S. And
hi, how you doing?
Yeah. We probably will never get to play on a qualifier.
That's the thing is I am not going to get to play in a single one of these. And honestly,
means we're earning our way through the Rumble.
No, I probably won't be able to play in those. Actually, I should be able to.
They'd be evenings.
Yeah.
That's why the Rumbles are in the evening.
Especially with them being on Wednesday.
Yeah. Like, if you don't play in Rumbles, I'd be very sad.
I'll do it. I'll do what I can. I will play in as many as I feel comfortable in playing with. Rentals will be allowed.
Yeah.
Like these,
you can play rental. That's
yeah. Like to play in these, you are just going to get paired up with someone on whatever on cart. Like they are all through cart. You are going to be required to have a team, even if it's a rental. I don't really care. We need to be able to have a paste of it though.
We'd like pastes submitted to us when you sign up of what you're made, what you think you're going to play, and if you need to change it, just DM us.
Yeah, just let us know.
If you
let a mod know, let one of us know, because we want to be able to have data on all these, and the more data we can have, the better. Because Tim loves. Tim will do anything and everything, especially if we throw data at it.
Oh yeah, so. He loves data.
And it really helps us out too. And like this is going to be something.
It also helps us answer questions like if something pertinent comes up. Say if someone's trying to like use a different move than what they registered and things like that. Even if it's just the rental code, I don't like as long as it matches what your rental code's doing, it's fine. But it does happen from time to time. Do we want to put rentals available for the qualifier though, or do you want them to have to make their own team?
No,
not for the qualifier, for the cup.
For the cup, yes. Okay. Yeah, we will
make them make their own.
Yeah, like again, it's going to be week 1 of Series 11, most likely, hopefully, maybe.
So there probably won't be any rental codes anyway. Oh, so yeah, that was the big meat and potatoes. What else do you want to talk about? Was there something else we need to talk about today? Pokepod Cup ended, Draft League ended.
Oh yeah, shoutouts to Evan.
Evan won the Draft League. Shoutouts to Evan, did a great job. I got to watch that one laying in bed. I was like,
I have not got to watch it yet.
It was really good. He's got plot armor, I swear. He's got that anime plot armor. Did a real great run.
Shoutouts to Zordor ending up winning the Pokepod Cup 2.
Yep. He ended up playing a. Didn't he put it in Team of the Week to get played for laddering?
Did he?
I think so.
Let me pull up Discord.
Let me find out real quick. Pretty sure he did.
There's Kaizen's. There is.
Pretty sure we had it put up.
Yeah,
somewhere.
Navir posted it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure someone posted it.
Yeah, you want to pull that up and we can talk about it real quick?
Yeah. So.
Ooh, spicy.
So you got some spice here today.
Spicy, I like it.
So we got a Zacian team with Galarian Moltres, Cantonian Zapdos, Entei, Urshifu Dark, and Metagross.
So initially looking at this, it's weird seeing like double steel because then you're doubling up on like not only your fire weakness but also ground weakness, which is perfect because we have double flying types, so then we can resist. That we are immune to ground. We have Entei, so we have a resistance to fire as well. Like past that, like this team is actually super sick. Life Orb Entei is not something I've literally ever seen. The one that I've seen a lot of here lately is like Choice Scarf Special Entei.
Mm-hmm.
But because we're inner focus, like we just ignore Intimidate. Like that's the thing about this team is we don't care about Intimidate. This is actually like pretty similar to like what I played in Pokepod 1. It's like this team doesn't care about Intimidate.
Yeah, it's just literally just like Zacian, you put it back to neutral. Cool.
Metagross, we have Clear Body.
Yeah,
both of our birds are special attackers. Urshifu will just punch you through
I was going to say, just crits you through it. It doesn't matter.
Entei is literally immune. Like, this is really interesting because with Ensign and Lando being two of the most popular Mons in the format, like, being able to ignore their abilities is pretty great.
Lando's pretty bad when it doesn't do anything besides just click Earthquake and, oh, look, there's both
look
lines.
At that. Here's Zapdos Moltres.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty sure that Metagross could probably tank. Lando hits pretty well too, and we just ice punch it on the swing back. Play Rough Zacian is something that's very uncommon.
I've seen it more and more here lately, and I'm a big fan. The Zacian team I played a couple weeks back on Laddering had it, and it was... it won me multiple games that I probably should not have won otherwise.
Yeah.
Really love Sash Urshifu. It's honestly,
almost a necessity.
You want to talk about mons that I have a problem with on my IC team? Sash Urshifu.
Urshifu Dark's probably a very big problem.
If it's specifically Sash, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you Wicked Blow and ignore my defense boost on Mudsdale if I, get Steel Spikes or whatever. And I can't, hit you super effectively. I can Quake you, but then I also want to Rockfall, so then I trigger Weather, so your Sash is broken. But, because of Indeedee, I ignore Sucker Punch, so that's fine. So it's, literally Wicked Blow is, the problem. Which is, honestly, one of the reasons I'm running Focus Sash Calyrex. It's alright, cool, I'll take the hit and do a ton of damage back. Look at that, Trick Room's over now. Oko you.
This is a bulky Zapdos, too. I know that this is a bulky Zapdos with Roost. So this is really cool.
Yeah, Roost is not a thing you see on Zapdos at all. Yeah. Which, if you time it incorrectly, that gives you 3 weaknesses to ground.
4, because we have Entei.
Oh yeah, I forgot Entei too. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, there was a version that he played in the qualifier for PC3 that had Suicune on it. This is version 1, and then the PC3 version's version 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's cool. It'd be interesting to see, what the difference is that Suicune puts out for the team over... I think it was over Entei. Neat.
Entei's really sweet, man. It is a mon that does not get nearly enough respect.
It's because there's so much rock and ground types running around, and it's just
and Kyogre and...
Yeah. Well, before that was the problem with it in Series 7. It's just there's so much rock and ground coverage between Lando and... Mamoswine was very popular for a while. So... Anywho, is that it? Are we done? Did we hit everything?
I think so.
Hit the Draft League, hit the Pokepod Cup 2 winner.
Yeah, our finals match was, like you said, is very good. Again, shout-outs to Laz for coming in second.
Yep.
And has anyone given Evan his champion role?
Yes.
Okay.
That was the first thing that happened as soon as...
cool.
Because no one could actually see it. We got to sneak it in there.
Which is why I asked.
We got to sneak it in there under the radar because... we didn't want to spoil a surprise because Evan's video was getting ready to go out the next couple days afterwards, which his video will be linked down below. It's got an interview with Laz on the tail end of it too. And then he just turned around and started working on multi-battle Draft League, and they got that going up, and that ended. Sign-ups for that ended on the 9th.
Yep, they end in approximately 24 hours from recording. So if you're hearing this and you want to play,
too late.
Sorry. We've been talking about it
for at least a couple weeks now.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. Get us out of here?
I think so. I'm done.
Yep.
So make sure you go ahead and like the video, subscribe if you're new here, ring the bell for notifications when new stuff goes live. Comment down below how you did in the IC.
Yep. PC4 qualifier.
I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing how people did. And
I know everyone's interested in hearing about Slowbro.
Dude, I know. I've had 4 people man, this team looks sweet.
So you got to come back here and comment down below on the video how Slowbro did, so everyone knows.
Or I can just wait until next week and have talk about it.
Yeah.
And keep people in suspense.
Yeah, they'll probably just join the Discord before then.
Yeah, probably.
We unfortunately lost our fancy vanity URL.
Yeah, it's whatever. It'll be alright.
So Discord link will be down below.
That just means we need to hit partner.
Yep. 500 members, 2-factor authentication. That's it.
That's literally the 2 we're missing. Which one of those is literally me going in and pressing a button.
Yeah. Which it's already enabled on mine.
Which I think that's going to cause kind of a problem with the number of usage, the number of users we have. Because people are going to have to go in on their end and...
It's just for your mods.
Is it? Okay.
It's
cool.
just for the moderation
I actually
staff.
did not know that.
No, it's just for moderating staff. It's just for the mods.
I need to enable it. So
it only affects the mods, people who have mod statuses on the server. Things like you, me, Swede, Evan, all of them.
Cool. If you're not listening on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and follow us over there. It's great. Our YouTube is great. We have all kinds of stuff going up. All kinds of... every day of the week, basically.
Hashtag Pandora Podcasts.
Oh, yeah. We're a Pandora podcast now.
Yeah.
So go listen to us on there. Or on Anchor or Spotify
or Google or
Apple or...
We managed to make it everywhere now.
Dude, we did.
Great.
Apple and Pandora were the two we were missing for quite a while.
It's nice.
But now we're there, so yeah.
Yeah, outreach.
Let's see. Carl and I are on Twitter. You can follow the podcast at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri25, and Carl at musical_33. Carl and I are on Twitch. You can follow us at Mr. Missouri25 and at musical. Come join the Discord. That's where you're going to find all the super cool stuff like Team of the Week and all the events for the circuit tour and everything else. The multi-league draft. All of our draft league stuff is there. That's
deep
going to be
dives. You can suggest Let's Play stuff. Everything. You can just talk about food or cats,
music
or whatever.
Yeah. So that's of course always done in the show notes. Come and hang out with us. It's probably the easiest way to get a hold of Carl or myself. Personally, I am basically always on.
Same.
From the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, I'm on Discord. So.
Yep.
Because, hey, look at this. I have a literal supercomputer in my pocket.
It's like, oh, look, I have a computer in my hand.
Twitter, Twitch,
Discord,
YouTube.
Anchor support. Come support us on Anchor if you like what you hear and want to.
For as little as 20 or 25 cents an episode, you can make us happy.
Yep. Or you can be the person that's donating $10 every month.
Yeah, for sure. It is fantastic and greatly appreciative and helps us do all kinds of things like run a website and everything else in the background.
Shout out to Dashiell, who's been donating $10 a month for the past 4 months.
Yeah.
Since AdSense ended.
Yeah.
Big shout out for that.
So, I think that's it.
Yep.
I think we're officially out of here.
Yep.
So, have a good one, everyone. We'll be back later this week with all kinds of stuff on the YouTube. And next week with some more Littleroot Lessons. Have a good one. Peace.